my beautiful friends, welcome back. Happy Monday, and I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. If you guys could think back to our work from last week, we were practicing blending individual sounds to make words. And we've had so much practice with blending. Previously, we practiced blending sounds to make words. We used to practice blending beginning sounds and ending sounds together to make a word. But when we were doing that, sometimes we were blending chunks of more than one sound. Let me give you the example of the word cat. When we worked with the word cat, we were blending k and at. K is one sound. You can't make it any smaller. And when we write the sound k, we write C or K. But in this instance, it's C. Now let's talk about the ending at. At. There's more than one sound there. So while k is a one sound chunk, at actually has two sounds. And when we write those two sounds, we write at, A-T. So when we were blending in the past, we were blending chunks. Sometimes they only had one sound, sometimes they had two sounds, and we could also blend chunks with 3 or 4 sounds, but we hadn't worked with them. So we have blended in the past, but we weren't working with individual sounds. The way we would work with individual sounds would be we were doing one sound at a time. And that's what we worked on last week. Last week, I would say each individual sound, the tiniest sounds that there could be in words, and you listened and said those sounds closer and closer together, faster and faster, until you smoothed them out into one word. Now, this week we're going to practice doing the same thing, but I'm going to use letters because we know that each letter has a sound, and this is how we're going to read. When we see a letter, like the letter C, we say its sound. The letter C can make the sound K. Then we'll see the next letter in a word. The letter A makes the sound A. So when we see the A, we say A. And then when we see the letter T, we'll say T, because the letter T says T. So now we're going to blend this word. K, at, k, at, cat. So now I'm not going to give you chunks of letters. I'm going to give you each individual letter, and you need to blend them. So that's what we're going to be working on this week. I'm going to show you letters. You're going to say the letter sounds, and then you're going to blend them together to read a word. So this is how all of the work in the past, all of that listening detective work that you've been doing, this is how we use that to read. I remember when we first started, I thought it might be a little confusing for you guys to know that you were building up to reading because all we were doing was listening. But here it is. We're finally at that point. You are going to look at letters, say their sounds, blend them together, and read. So let me show you another example. Let's talk about this letter. This letter says the sound So when we see this letter, we say This letter says ah. So we have ah. And then this letter says d. So now we're going to blend those 3 separate sounds. A, d. A, d. How can we blend those together? A, d. Mad. Mad. There we go. Let's practice one more. What do I want to do? Okay, here we go. This letter says s. This letter says a. And this letter says t. So here we have s, at, s, at, sat, like I sat down. So there you go. This week, this is the work that you will be doing. You will look at the letters, you will say those letter sounds, and then you will blend them. And when you do that, that means that you've read a word. So I'm super excited for your work this week. I just wanted to give you a preview of what we're going to do to teach you how, but I think that you guys know how to do it already. So I will see you again tomorrow, and we'll do our first day of the challenge. See you then. Bye.